Hi, I'm Pam and I'm here to talk about retro video games. Today I'm continuing with my favorite games of all time, this time covering numbers 20 to 16. 20 is the much criticized middle entry in a popular RPG series, but I think it's the best of the bunch. Dragon Age 2 was developed by BioWare and released in 2011. It's an action role-playing game where you play Hawk, a refugee who has come to the city of Kirkwall with her family to escape the Darkspawn. Dragon Age 2 does a number of things I think work very well. The first is the game's framing. The story is told by one of Hawk's most charismatic companions, Varric, as he is being interrogated by the Seeker Cassandra. From the beginning, it's clear that something has gone down in Kirkwall and Hawk was at the center of it, but we don't know exactly what. The story unfolds through Varric's narration. The next thing I really like is that it focuses on one single city. As we go from act to act, we get to know Kirkwall almost as if it's another character, and see it change through the years. Often these changes are because of our actions. While the backgrounds may be repetitive, the events that take place in front of them are not. And lastly, I love this cast of characters. Unlike in Origins, here our protagonist gets a voice, and based on dialogue choices, gets a lot more personality than the silent Grey Warden. Hawk was certainly the Dragon Age protagonist I felt the most connected to. My absolute favorite thing about the game is that your companions feel like real people. In a lot of RPGs, characters don't really seem to exist when you're not interacting with them. It's like someone hits the off switch and they just wait in stasis for you to talk to them or use them on a quest. But not here. In Dragon Age 2, companions have their own homes, goals, and relationship outside of your story. Though Hawk is a priority for them and they're usually up for an adventure, they also have other things going on and develop even when they're not on screen. The next game is my favorite scrolling shoot-'em-up. Knack was developed by Compile and released for NES in 1991. It's a scrolling vertical shooter that puts you in control of Commander Knack. Inanimate objects have been springing to life and attacking people. It's up to you to find the source of this problem and defeat it. I'm a big fan of shoot-'em-ups. I love their arcadey feel and how easy they are to pick up and play for 20 minutes and then move on to something else. They're challenging and require quick reactions, but don't require a whole lot of mental energy. What is it that makes Knack my favorite? That's hard to articulate. The gameplay is solid, the controls are tight. The 5 different weapons you get access to are all very different and get powered up in creative ways that make each of them well suited to certain levels. The bombs are also rather unique and all fun to use. The game does get quite challenging around the halfway mark, but power-ups and bombs are fairly plentiful. So I didn't feel like I was totally screwed if I got hit and ended up with the puny basic ship at some point, which is a feeling I get a lot in other games of the genre. Plus, it has unlimited continues, which honestly, all games should have. I really enjoy how offbeat the enemies and environments in the game are. It's cool to go up against carrots and bunnies or rolls of toilet paper and tree branches. It almost veers into cute-'em-up territory without being annoyingly adorable. 18 is some dungeon-crawling goodness that I spent so much time with as a kid. Lands of Lore: The Throne of Chaos was developed by Westwood Studios and released for PC in 1993, though I first played the '94 re-release on CD-ROM. Fancy. It's a dungeon-crawling role-playing game where you control a party of adventurers. They are tasked with finding a cure for the king, who has been poisoned by the evil, shape-changing witch Scotia. The '94 release of the game added voice acting, and the king is voiced by none other than Patrick Stewart. Talk about gravitas. Lands of Lore is clearly influenced by other first-person dungeon crawlers like Wizardry, Eye of the Beholder, or Might and Magic, but it does things to make it look and sound better, as well as make it more accessible and convenient to play. Characters are pre-made and given a little more personality than they usually do in these types of games. You get to pick between someone who is physically strong, someone strong with magic, and a balanced character. Or a cat dude who's apparently very agile, but agility isn't a stat on your sheet. One of the things that makes the game much easier to play is the auto map, which tracks each square you travel through. Though there is one area where it stops working, in case you miss using graph paper. You can also rest to heal up anywhere, even in dungeons, rather than having to go back to town, which saves so much time. Though you do risk being woken up by monsters. There's a wide variety of environments like forests, dungeons, swamps, and a gorgeous ivory tower, and the enemies all look really good. There are many different items to find and use, and there's some puzzle solving involved with getting through each area. Lands of Lore really set the bar for dungeon crawlers for me, and no game has really surpassed it. Next is a game that manages to be awe-inspiring and terribly melancholy at the same time. Shadow of the Colossus was developed by Team Ico and released for PS2 in 2005. It's classified as an action-adventure game, but it's much more than that. You play a man named Wander, who enters a forbidden land to bring his girlfriend back from the dead. To do this, a mysterious spirit tells him he must defeat 16 colossi. The world of Shadow of the Colossus is vast and beautiful. The land holds crumbling ruins that make you think it held some kind of civilization a long, long time ago. It's beautiful and very lonely. I still remember my first time seeing a Colossus. It was humanoid in shape, carrying a giant club, and, obviously, was huge. The fight was exhilarating. It was a combination of action and puzzle solving, as I needed to figure out how to climb the creature in order to damage its hidden weak spots. The satisfaction of defeating it was very quickly taken over by a sense that something was wrong. This sense grew with every kill. Some of the creatures aren't even aggressive, and it began to feel like I was an outsider, just murdering these creatures in their homes. Violence is the default mechanic in so many games, and this is one of the few, certainly one of the first, that ever really made me question this. Shadow of the Colossus taught me that the player may not always be the hero. 16 is a ridiculously fun game that makes me feel like a superhero, and I don't even have to wear tights. Saints Row 4 was developed by Volition and released in 2013. It's a third-person action-adventure and shooter. This time around, you're still the boss of the 3rd Street Saints, but also, after saving the Earth from a nuclear bomb in the game's intro, the President of the United States. Aliens attack, and that's where things get weird. Saints Row 4 takes the hilariously over-the-top formula from the 3rd game and turns it up to 11. You find yourself in a simulation of Steelport and have to rescue the rest of the Saints, who are all trapped in their own virtual oubliettes. The ridiculous weapons from prior games are around, but you also get superpowers. You can leap tall buildings and run extremely fast, which is way more fun than driving around. You get telekinesis and can throw fireballs. It's the ultimate power fantasy. The game is full of irreverent references and whole levels inspired by things like Metal Gear Solid, The Matrix, and even Leave It to Beaver. And of course, the set pieces are great, wonderfully scripted with great musical accompaniment. In the game's opening, you're climbing a launching rocket while Aerosmith plays, and your friends share their sometimes touching goodbyes. Next thing you know, you're making a very naked escape from an alien ship while What Is Love plays and Kinsey yells at you to do a barrel roll. The story missions are fantastic. Not only are they hilarious, but they include segments from all kinds of genres. There's a side-scrolling beat-em-up level, a text-based adventure, a top-down tank shooter. It may not make a lot of sense, but it's pure, unabashed fun. I particularly loved Saints Row's send-up of Mass Effect. You get a ship that serves as your home base, where you can talk to all of your companions and plan your next move. There's even some BioWare-styled romance. Sort of.
Hey Kinsey, you wanna fuck?
Let's go.
I love this game. That's it for this episode. The next one features a mix of old and new, and everything from magic kitties to demons from hell.
I have need of a champion. Who among you will volunteer to serve me in this matter?
If you missed it, check out the last episode in this series or my full review of Knack. I have a Patreon if you're interested in supporting my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Well, have you decided?